Bro, what is going on in the dating scene? I just talked to my buddy. This is wild. So I've been out of the game for a little while, but it's always interesting to see what's going on out there. So one of my buddies in my fantasy football group, longtime friend, just kind of separated from his old lady about a year or so ago, and he's just kind of been telling us his stories of trying to just kind of get back out there and meet people. And it's wild, some of the things he's telling us. So like one of the things that he does now is everything's online, he says, because for most busy adults, into their 30s, it's hard to find time to just go out to a social scene and meet people. So a lot of people are using these online sites like Bumble here to meet people. I mean, it's just the most efficient way, right? So anyways, my buddy, he ends up like pairing or matching up with this one gal, and he says it's pretty normal, but this time he matches up with this gal and they start talking about plans for the first date. This is crazy to me. Check this out. So call me old school, but like a first date is kind of like an introduction to see if you're even remotely compatible with each other. So I would think just a drink, coffee, tea, whatever, and maybe just go hang out at a public place like an art museum where it's quiet. You guys can just gingerly chat, look at some artwork, and just kind of talk about stuff. And again, worst case scenario, at least you got out of the house, both of you, had a nice time, got to learn about some cool stuff about different people out there. And if it doesn't work, no big deal. At least y'all had a nice time and it wasn't anything crazy expensive. My buddy goes, you're not gonna believe this. She didn't even want to do that. And them having dogs, she wasn't even open to just having a drink and just going like a dog park, letting the dogs run around and just kind of chat there, or a public park. She wanted something totally different. She tells my buddy, let's go to Ruth Chris for dinner. And if you've never heard of Ruth Chris, it's basically a really nice prime steakhouse restaurant. I'm talking they have the nice fine wine list, the nice tablecloth, everything is pristine, very nice silverware. All the cuts of meat are wonderful. I mean, look at this nice little dinner. I mean, this is something I would take my wife on a nice, get out of the house, get away from the kids. It's been a little while, anniversary dinner, something like that. I mean, this is a very expensive, nice restaurant. I mean, for most of us, if you're gonna get a steak, a lot of people like to go with like a small filet or a little bit larger filet. A steak like this, check out the menu prices. Knowing that the economy is tough right now and everybody's on a strict budget, some of these prices at these steakhouses, you can't even touch that filet on a smaller one for $60. That's just the steak a la carte. You don't get anything else. That's just a steak on a plate. Nothing. So to have a first date, you guys, to go a place like this, you're not gonna walk out of that place for under like $250 minimum for two people. And if you start drinking anything spirits or wine, yeah, it's gonna go even higher than that. And to think that that's okay for a first date, I guess just call me old school, but I think on a first date, I just think that's completely unfair for the guys trying to just meet gals out there and trying to just see if they can pair up and, make something of it. And for the gals out there, like, I don't know, like I've heard that there's a no-go list, like you can't go to any chain restaurant like an Outback Steakhouse or anything. That to me, that just seems so ridiculous. I feel like if you're gonna go anywhere fancy, then y'all need to split the bill, to be fair about it. Like I said, I feel like the guy should still pay for the gal, the old school part of me, because the gal's taking the time to meet you and go out. But if you're just gonna take advantage of somebody, both ends, like that's not how you do this. That's a no-go for me. And since everybody's struggling right now, like, let's be reasonable. Like, let's take the no-go list off. And if y'all want to go somewhere, a chain restaurant is perfectly fine. A nice public area for a date, fine. But, dude, high-end restaurants and stuff like that, that is ridiculous, y'all. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about this for these first dates out there, for people looking to date. But to me, that is just nonsense. See you guys on the next one.